Hey YouTube! You may not have seen this one before. There's a reason I've dug this out. I bought this guitar in Bathgate. This is a Grant from I think it was 1985. I decided these were from purely because one of you guys, told me that they remember seeing these on the wall in Grant's music shop when they bought their guitar, and they bought it when in 1985. So round about that era is where these are. These are sort of weird. This is actually I had a Sigma acoustic in last week, and at one point some of this might be a bit, I don't know how true any of this is, but it kind of makes sense. Grant was a shop in Glasgow. There was a few shops, but the main one was in Glasgow, and used to import guitars back in the days in the 80s and stuff. The copy guitars you just ordered them from Japan or wherever and got your own badge put on them. That's what this is. So what this is, I think, was a bulk buy special order by Grant's. There's a guitar called, as I was saying there about Sigma. Martin decided they were going to try and make electric guitars, and there's ones that look very similar to this exact headstock that I don't think ever got released, and I think the design was then finished off, or these are leftover ones or something. There's also a brand called Yoshi, which my pal Wayne has a couple of these. If you look up the Grant guitars made in Scotland, you'll see, and I think Yoshi guitars as well. They're very similar. I've never seen ones quite like this. Wayne's got one, I think it's a set neck one. These are bolt on. It's got this, see, the Aria Pro smooth neck joint. It doesn't say smooth neck joint, aren't made in Japan. So, and it's got the three piece neck on it. So it cuts right into being a 1984 Japanese guitar, and we all know they're amazing. That's actually the reason. I'm just going to tell the story again. Fuck it, only 2 minutes in. My pal Wayne, I know he lives down in Colville, which is right next to where Donington is. That's why every year I go down to Donington, see him. And we just ended up just one of those folk. I only know him from the internet talking shit about guitars, and it was from a Grant Les Paul guitar that I bought for a tenner at one point. That was pure manky, and he contacted me about that, and then we ended up chatting and blah blah blah, and it ended up just being pals. He picked up my 2 Washburns for me because they were down there and the guy refused to post, things like that. He comes back into the story though, and he found this, he sent me this picture of a guitar. It was the same as this, but it was red, that a postman in Glasgow had found in a skip. And it was like, oh, this is in Glasgow, what do you think of this? And I was like, pure, that's the most hideous thing I've ever seen. I don't like it, I don't want it. No idea what it was. And he was like, pure, oh, okay, right, well, you're going to buy it? And I was like, no, I think it was 80 quid or something like that. I think it was knackered. It had been found in a skip. I was like, I can pick it up for you if you want, just out of the blue, because it was only like, I think I was driving over the Kingston Bridge anyway, so it was like a 15-minute detour for me to go and pick up the guitar. Picked it up for him, thought it was hideous, did a video on it. Actually turned out to be quite good, because it had been in a skip in the rain for a while. It needed a bit of truss rodding and just basically cleaning up, and he took it down to his famous luthier down there, Nigel something, luthier to the stars, and I think he got it refretted, and the guy was just pure that. What an amazing guitar! It was such a joy to work on. It was like just the quality of the woods and the build and everything's just pure perfect about it. And Wayne's like, really? And that was basically this guitar, but red, or sort of candy apple red. I've since got a version of that as well. Originally known as The Ugly, because I just think it's hideous. Although, kind of get used to it. I quite like it now. This has been in the attic for, 2 years. Got Alexa strings on it, was still in tune, in a case. But this one, it's a crazy colour, because it's silver. It's not really a crazy colour, it's just silver. But depending on what time of day it is, it's different type of silver, because the pigments kind of reflect. The Squier Mikey Way does this as well. When you've got like a pure silver guitar, it kind of looks green a wee bit. Just it kind of looks green in certain lights and pink in other lights, and it really depends on what it is, what colour the light is that's hitting off it, because obviously it reflects it back. And it looks gold quite a lot of the time, but here it's kind of looking a wee bit green today, I think. But it kind of depends on what's behind it. It's like someone was talking about how yellow that guitar was. It's because the wall behind it's actually pink. Well, when you look at that one, which is white, It's not really that white, but it looks much whiter than it should be because the wall behind it's pink. It's kind of... Anyhow, so you get a volute in the back of the neck, Gotoh tuners. What I think looks very much just like a DiMarzio Super Distortion. It'd be similar to an Ibanez Super 70 or something like that. It's got the big made in Japan trem block thing on the back, a coil split switch, and the knobs I like best, the ones that are sort of notched. I bought this in Bathgate from the Purple Amp Music, the Purple Orange Music venue. So I thought, oh, there's one of them. I've never seen a silver one before. So currently my collections consist of this one exactly the same, but cherry red, which I should sell because I don't need it. It's exactly the same as this one. I've got the not cherry red, candy apple red. I've got the candy apple red one with 2 pickups in it. It's a really nice guitar. I think Wayne might have actually given me that. Or maybe I swapped it for something, I can't remember. I've got the red one, it's really cool. So I've got 3 of them. There is a bass. There's also blue. But I've never seen a blue guitar. I have seen one blue fretless bass, and I've seen one silver bass, which is the same as this, but it's a bass. And it was Wayne picked it up and was like, do you want this? And I was like, "Pure ugly, I don't want it." This was a good few years ago before I realised how good they were. And that guy that he sold the bass to has just messaged me going, "Up here, you want to buy this bass?" And it's like, oh, no, I can't afford another. Oh, but it's like that. And it's like, it's going to be basically this quality apart from. So I'm kind of talking myself out of it, trying to talk myself out of buying the bass version. I don't need any more basses. It's like a P bass configuration, and it's this shape and this colour. But the thing is, it's just awful good. It's like when you play a guitar that's really well built, it's just really obvious that it's really well built. It's like, this feels like a really expensive guitar. I don't think they were at the time. I think it was just, I think the Grant shop were just like it was a bit of a Rodney Trotter type thing, Del Boy Trotter type affair a little bit. Never met the guy, don't know. But I think there was a wee bit of that. You know, it's like buying bargain things. I know he used to buy the Les Pauls and the Strats and stuff, and he would buy them, and he would. The guitars were all basically the same, but you could spec your own hardware, and he spec'd the cheapest hardware you can imagine. So if you've got like a Grant Les Paul, the tuners are like made of tin and stuff, whereas if you can buy exactly the same Les Paul, made the same factory, but it's branded CSL or Arbiter, any of these things, but they've put decent hardware on it, whereas he's just going like up here, oh, I mean, I can sell it for a tenner or less if I just put the cheapest, so you get plastic bridges and horrible pickups, but the actual guitars are pretty good. You get a hold of one of them. But this is a different thing, a different run. So make some noise with it. This is I'm now currently using my wee Laney, which I'm really quite liking. I think I do need to do valves on it because it's noisy. The thing that we're going off topic here. The downside about the Laney is it doesn't have the knobs in the front, which I like, so I can see that it's on. And also when you turn it on, it's got some sort of, it doesn't have a standby switch, but it's got some sort of ramping circuit in it. So you turn it on and it takes a full 30 seconds before any sound comes out of it. And okay, you've got to let the valves warm up and all that stuff, but on normal valve amps doesn't take like a full 30 seconds before it starts making a noise. 10 seconds or 15 or something before it starts coming in. That must have, because it doesn't have a standby switch, it's got some sort of circuit thing in it, which is annoying, which means if I want to play the guitar, I turn it on and then I've got to wait like a minute before I can play. But once it's on, it's great. This is me using the Rat pedal on the Dirty Channel. And again, testament to Elixir strings. This is still playable. It's definitely been at least a few years since these strings went on it. Single coil. pickup. There isn't one. Clean single coil. Fuzz. Not helped me very much at all. I kind of, like as I said, that guy messaged me this morning. I can't afford it. Nobody's buying anything just now, so it's like I don't know what to do about it. It's awfully good, and to be honest, to be fair, I've only ever seen 2 basses ever anywhere, and one of them was the silver one, which is actually this same one, and the other one was a blue fretless one, which actually I was looking at, but I don't like fretless basses. But the fact that it was blue, I quite like the idea of having like the full range, as in having a silver single pickup, the red double pickup, and the blue bass would have been a great little combination, but the silver bass. The thing about that is that kind of brings up opportunities for like for doing a gig in Cranking House, or like, you know, doing a video or something like that. It's like he can use the bass and I can use the guitar, and we can both be playing matching guitars. That'd be pretty cool. Can do that with the Aria lasers, which is on the wall there. And I think that's about it. I do have quite a few guitar and bass sets, if you know what I mean, but I don't think I've got any guitar and bass sets where they're the same colour. Maybe the Thor sounds. They're not exactly the same shape though, because the bass has got like a 4-a-side and the guitar's a 3-a-side. The lasers are kind of similar because they're both black. They're both from the same year. But the other ones, I don't think I've got any dead match. I do have the Aria ZZs, which are like, one of them's black with a colour on it, the other one's turquoise. So it's like they're not the same guitar but a bass. In fact, I've got a feeling that I need to have a look at them. I need to get the guy to send me some photos of it. It's been years since I saw it. To be honest, I thought it was blue, the one he had. But then again, I had a thing in my head that it was a very light blue. Like I said, it was a sort of candy apple turquoisey blue, like Yoakum's Blazer. That colour's pure amazing. I thought it was that colour, but I think it might have just been this colour, but just happened to be like blue sky above it or something, so it looked that colour. Because when I actually saw the blue, and it's actually a sort of dark blue, and it's not really that pleasing. It's still a sort of candy apple, but it's a sort of more. I was hoping it was like a bright turquoise, like that, like Yoakum's Blazer. But what a testament to Elixir Strings. I mean, I have to say that the D, G, and B are black, so they probably are. But the other strings seem fine, and to be fair, it does play. It's not bad. You kind of go, I could do with new strings in this, but it's not like pure, no, you can't play this, which is normally the case if a guitar's been sitting in a case for 2 years or whatever it is, or more than that. It was before lockdown when I bought it, so older than that. And the coil split thing, actually the bass has got a switch on it as well. I'm not really sure what it does. It's like a P bass layout, so it's either phase or series parallel, because there's not really much you can do with like a P bass pickup, which I don't have. You can't see one just now, but it's just like two parts, so all you can really do. The phase thing, my Vox has got a phase and a bass. Is like, I don't know why you would ever want that, unless you were. I suppose I could use it. Someone actually commented the other day in one of my videos. What was it? I think it was the Aria one. Is that pure? Wow, I've never heard. I love the lead bass thing you do. It's like, when I do a lead bass thing. I think that was what I'd done was I'd had the 2 amps running, so I put in like a bass backing track, and then turned on the fuzz pedal and played through the guitar amp, going playing bad lead. It was like bass shredding. I've never been accused of bass shredding before, but I quite like it. Yeah, these things are amazing though. Again, there might be something to be said for having the single pickup. I know, is it Phil? What's the guy? Phil X? He likes not having the bridge pickup, the neck pickup, because he reckons that even if you're not using it, it's still there's still magnets there which are stopping your strings moving. So there's a little bit more attack. I know it should be less attack, but more attack, which means it's less immediate. Like on a synthesizer, if you put the attack up, you hit the note, it goes. That's a slow attack, whereas a no attack is dunk, 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 dunk. You know what I mean? Or it goes dunk. It's how quickly it builds up. So apparently there's a difference in there, which might be something. Maybe one of these things is a little bit imperceivable, but it's there for the single pickup guitars. Because it can't be a complete coincidence that these guitars are amazing, and that one that I made there out of bits of wood, it's amazing as well. It's like it's less complicated. Or maybe it just makes you play slightly differently. It makes you, with the single pickup, if you're playing the guitar for a while and you've never actually had a single pickup guitar, it's not the same as just not using the other pickups. Or there is something about just having the bridge pickup which gives you, because you don't have anything to fidget with, you end up using the tone control more to do different things, and you end up playing it differently, realising that, oh, I want a sort of fatter sound for the neck pickup sound, which I would normally go to there. You can actually sort of do that just by the way you hit the strings and the way you hold it and stuff like that. Can kind of do that within sort of I've ever used a tone control in this that even worked. It's always very impressive when you see Rory Gallagher doing that, so I might start doing it a wee bit. Pardon me, he's good at it. And again, I'm going to check and see if I think this might be. It kind of looks Gibson, but I think it's actually a Strat. I think it's 25.5-inch Strat scale. I'd have to look at it. The things that put you off that is the fact that it's kind of Gibson-y body three-side headstock, so it makes you think, oh, it's a Gibbs, isn't it? No, it is. It's a Strat, as I thought. So, although obviously the headstock shape. Well, I say obviously it doesn't make any difference. Does it? Does it make a difference? I've heard people say that it's the tension change you see when you've got like an upside down headstock Strat, because you get different amounts of string. That probably does make a difference. I don't know what the difference is, but if you think about it, if this had been a 6-a-side, the high E string's got that much extra string on it, so it goes to the nut. Obviously, it starts here the same, goes through the block, goes to that, and you get that much string. Whereas if this was a 6-a-side, then it would be this much string on it. Yeah. So that maybe makes a difference. I wonder if anyone's ever made it. Everyone's ever calculated that. I know there's a problem with actual original Fenders, which I've actually got a problem with my original Fender. Like, see when you hit a G, one of the strings vibrates. Like, it's like, because it's obviously everything's got a resonant frequency, but the resonant frequency on a Strat is the same as one of the open strings. So if you hit an open string and then mute it, one of these is like wee running away. So yeah, that's why I often see folk with like a hairband or an elastic band there to stop that happening. 20 minutes talking about Grant guitars and me trying to decide. I don't know. Will you see? Maybe next week. Will you see me playing the bass version of this? I don't know. I'm playing bass in a band. I could use it in the Black Sabbath band. It would be fine. I don't know. Looking at it, and I don't know how repulsed you are by the shape. I was utterly repulsed by this when I got the first one off Wayne, and then now I actually like it. I think it's actually a cool design. It's kind of pointy and not pointy at the same time. It's like a pure efficient design. It's maybe a little bit neck heavy. Not really. No, it just wants to sit at that angle, and ideally, I want it to sit at that angle. Mind you, there's actually room there. The strap button's not right at the end, but put it at the end, it would sort it. Just slightly. I mean, it's not neck heavy. It's just the angle it sits at's maybe not quite what I want. Trem's actually not set up bad either. I've not touched this. Literally, I was going to do a video on the Flying V because I was using it in the live stream. And it sounds really good. The problem with the live stream is the live stream's great for drinking and talking shit, but it's not good for hearing the sound of the guitars because I think my internet's not good enough. Even though I'm using the same mic, it doesn't go up. The sound quality doesn't upload at the quality it is you're listening to just now, which I'm not saying it's brilliant, but it's all right. And make sure you're watching this in HD because the sound quality doubles in quality. If I happen to have put a video out early, which I don't do it very often anymore, and you can only watch it in 360, you go, it doesn't really matter. All you're doing is looking at me. You don't really need to be able to see me in high definition. That's kind of why I never went to 4K. Apart from the fact I don't have a 4K telly and I'm a stingy bastard. You really want to see me in a higher definition? Why? I suppose maybe you can see the guitars, but I'm still considering maybe doing a Trogley type thing where I lay it down on a workbench and then have the GoPro on my head. But it's a little bit porno-y, that, innit? Guitar porn. It's like, obviously we're all mad into guitars here, but there's a line where you kind of go, it's like, yeah, our guitars are pure amazing. I don't actually I've never wanted to have sex with a guitar though, or anything like that, or don't. and they've never played the guitar naked. I don't. It doesn't. You know, it's not. No, a different level. I'm sure there are people. And you can really dig in on these as well. Yeah, so as I agree with Nigel de Luther down in Colville, that the quality of these, there's not enough lot to it. It's a very simple guitar. Okay, it does have a Strat trem. It's not a particularly complicated thing. It's just a, it's a routed piece of, I don't know, mahogany or something. Who knows? I've never actually taken the. I'm trying to look see if do any of mine have any chips in it. You can see even what kind of wood it is. I don't know. Could be anything. It's got a fair chunk to it. It's not. I don't think it's basswood. But the neck is wonderful, like they all are in these. And again, it's got that the faces thing. You can't see it. A lot of the guitars I like have got there's a certain way of cutting the wood that makes the neck, which kind of, if you hold the light at it, you get, it kind of looks a bit like a totem pole with like faces in it. I'm not totally insane or tripping, honestly, but you can kind of, this has it in the middle piece. The Roadster has it. It just seems to be a lot of my favourite guitars. It's like, it's not something I notice immediately, but it's like, well, this guitar really is something special. I don't know whether that means it's quarter sawn or it's a certain type of wood, or whether it makes no difference whatsoever and it's just a complete chance. But wonderful guitars. I'm going to have to say it on. Then I want to buy the red one. Basically this exact guitar, apart from its candy apple red. Because if somebody wanted to buy that, I would just swap it for the bass, which is always my plan with it anyway. It's like I got it in a trade for something, and it's like, I don't really need it. I'm not one for having two guitars exactly the same in the same colour, in a different colour. I don't really see, especially when they're exactly the same. And these are like, these are 80s Japanese built. So when I say they're exactly the same, it's not like picking, two Gibsons off the shelf, two Gibson Les Pauls the same colour. Oh, they're completely different guitars. Yeah, no, the quality control on the Japanese factories in the 80s was pure ridiculous. So if they weren't the same, they made them the same. It's the same as like, see, Westtone Thunders, and the basses pick up a Westtone Thunder. It feels exactly the same as the other as your Westtone Thunder, because they're just that. So the person who assembled that knew exactly what they were doing. The woman probably, because in the Japanese factories back then, now it's all CNC'd, so it's like, and wood's a variable thing, whereas then it was like someone would get it from they would build it, it would go, then they would assemble it, then they would take it to the paint shop, get it painted by the paint shop, which was extra, get it back, and they would finish the guitar. So it would come out and it would be like, here we go, here it is, Westtone Thunder serial number 9992, here we go, bang. Somebody made that, a person took the blame for that. So basically when they get it at the end, it's all traceable back to one person. That's why the quality control's pure ridiculous. Not like now, not like your assembly line thing. Where it's like, we were talked about this before, the Fender custom shop, but they're talking about hand sanding the necks. And there's a guy with a belt sander that's like, 10 metres long. And he's standing there with the necks like that. Check. Next, and that is hand building a neck. That's not for a normal Fender. That's for the custom shop. $2,500 ones. That's the hand built part, and it's like, no, these ones are hand built, as in somebody with sandpaper building the whole guitar, not getting a neck going. I think the painting, and there might be a separate person doing the fret, putting the frets in, that sort of thing, but the majority of it built by one person, and somebody doesn't sit and cut out the body, you know what I mean? But enough jibber jabber. Rock on, see you during the week.